Hi there, my name is The Adipose, and this is my face if you've never seen it. In fact, I don't necessarily look like a grizzled old wasteland wanderer, or maybe I do. You be the judge. So today I'm going to be talking about my mod list. It's the 6th of January 2018, and I spent about half a day a couple of weeks ago just updating my mods, taking out stuff that was out of date and putting in some of the new must-have mods from around the Nexus. And I'm going to be talking through some of the highlights today. I'm not going to mention all the mods because otherwise the video will be 20 minutes and I want to keep this one down to about 5. But I've made you, because I am a beautiful and benevolent adipose, a Google Docs of the full list. And so I'll put the share link to this in the description, and you can see the full list of everything that I am using there together with the kind of categories. So I'm just going to be looking at a few highlights today, the new stuff really. So I'm not going to be going through the stuff that everyone has. I'm going to be going through the stuff that I've added for this playthrough. So I've added in a few new armor and outfit packs. Eli's Armor Compendium and the Mercenary, both of them full of just beautiful outfits for the characters in the game, the non-player characters in the game. I mean, you can wear them as well, but you don't have to. I'm still using Fallout Suite. I don't know if I was using that before, but it basically extends the default music in the game without changing the sound of it too much. I've added in one called Reverb and Ambience Overhaul. I was debating kind of doing like a horror playthrough, and so I added in some kind of scarier looking and scarier sounding stuff, and I eventually decided against it, but I really like this one. So when you fire a laser musket inside now, instead of getting just like a nice poof, you now get kind of like a and you get that kind of extended reverb and ambience. And try it. If you haven't tried it, try it. It's not game changing, but it makes you feel you're in a bigger place sometimes, and that's good. Clicky goals, that's new. This one is one of my favorites of the new stuff. It's called the Wasteland Codex Interactive Lore Database voiced by the Storyteller. The Storyteller is a YouTube channel where he talks about all the different elements of kind of Fallout, and now they've made a mod. So if you come across a mole rat for the first time, the mod kicks in and it tells you about mole rats. And you know, that's great for role play. It's great for just players that just love being immersed in the Fallout universe. It's good. And I've got in my Hugo playthrough, the bobblehead playthrough, I've got it to talk automatically, but you don't have to do that. You can just have it almost like an unlock, and so then you can listen to it as and when you want, if you want to. What else is new? Bobble hats. These are beautiful. You're going to see these in the Hugo playthrough. They're not. You haven't seen them yet because I only just installed this this morning. But there are some beautiful bobbles, far more interesting than just the generic guy in a vault suit one. Crows and Creatures collection. I tend to change my kind of creature mods every so often just to kind of keep interest up, so I've gone for a slightly more scary look this time. For those of you wondering about my look of the game, I've got Vivid Fallout, which is the all-in-one, combined with True Grass, combined with Commonwealth Conifers, and then along with that, which is further down, you'll see I'm using Vivid Weathers and PRC as the EMB preset. So if you want the same look in your game that I have in mind, those are basically the 5 or so mods to go through. But there's a lot of more, if I just scroll down, there's a lot more models and textures that I'm using here as well. If you go and look on the full mod list, you can see what I'm using. But they're the kind of the light altering ones and the ambiance changing ones. All of these I think I've mentioned before. This one's new, Start Me Up. This one is brilliant. It's an alternative start mod, a bit like Another Life that we used a year or so ago, but most of them now are out of date, but this one's not. And it lets you play the normal game or have an accelerated start to the normal game, or, and this is what I'm using, you can choose to be a raider or a scavenger or something, and you can choose to be like level 5, level 10 or something like that, and you're not Sean's father. So you can not be, it changes the dialogue, so you're not actually part of that family, but you can still do the main quest, which is kind of what I'm looking to maybe do with Hugo. So really good mod, well worth looking at. I'm using VAFs, which is a bit like Bullet Time from before, but just way more advanced. It integrates the critical system and all sorts of other bits and bobs. Well worth having a look at. What else is new? Crafting highlight fix is new. Ponytail hairstyles is new. Most of these have all been here before. Tasty map. A few of you asked me what map mod I'm using, and it's this one. Makes the kind of map colourful and puts various different kind of icons in it, which is nice. I think collector's guides is what's letting me find the bobblehead locations. I think I've been using that one for a while. All of these I've been using for a long time, except Sim Settlements. Sim Settlements was basically the mod that I got back into Fallout 4, because you guys know that I like to build things, but I got sick of it. You know, it just takes so long, whereas this one basically builds the settlements for you. And you can either say, build me the whole settlement, which is what Rise of the Commonwealth is. They make the whole settlement, and you just have to provide resources or whatever. Or you can say, right, I want a house here, I want and something industrial here, I want something commercial there, and then they kind of build up the individual bits. So you can control it as much or as little as you like. It's brilliant. Pitpad is Hugo's little iPad thing with the Nuka-Cola retexture here. Vivid Weathers I already mentioned. Coming down. Extended dialogue interface. Replaced whatever the mod was from a couple of years ago, but this one changes the dialogue text so you can read what you're going to say before you actually say it, which is good for a roleplay like mine. Immersive HUD is now fully integrated. Some of these need other mod things with them, like the mod configuration menu, or there's like a HUD framework that needed to go with some of them. Various compatibility patches. I've taken out Valdecils because it wasn't working right. It's probably the way I installed it, but I couldn't get Valdecils and Immersive HUD and Def UI and whatever else I'm using all working together, and so I eventually thought, sod it, and did something else. And right down the bottom here, I'm still using Frisbee Mine, which Hugo used on like video 4, I think it was. It means you can throw the mine further away. I did a Moddit video on it. And of course, Mauser Family, which is where Bessie comes from. So that's where I'm at. Check out the full list if you want to see it. I haven't included all the links, but any of these, you just need to type it into Google. So before anyone says in the comment section, could you give me a link? Google it. Go to Google, type the words into Google, press the enter button, click probably the top link. Job done. Happy times. I hope that was useful. If you have any questions about the mods, or you want to recommend any mods, or point out any problems I've done, or anything I've done with it, let me know. And then I also use Loot to kind of do my mod orders and things like that. So hopefully that tells you what you want to know. Have a lovely day. Farewell.